Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Dr. Octopus. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at the highly anticipated Marvel Legends Doc Ock, aka Dr. Octopus, as he appears in Spider-Man No Way Home. But for whatever reason, licensing wise, they couldn't use that branding on the packaging. So instead, we have the Spider-Man 2 logo, which is absolutely fine by me, as long as there's a great figure inside the box. And I think it's gonna be. So we get the boring digital render on the boring plastic-free packaging, but hopefully that is a thing of the past. We get a picture on the side, that same image on the back of the box. No write-up, wave association, cross-sale, or anything like that. We just get the plus with the accessories he comes with, which is a few alternative parts for his 4 pincers, of course. So without further ado, let's get it open. Here we have Otto Octavius out of the packaging with the contents of the box on the table. And as you can see, he comes with those 4 pincers separately, a set of interchangeable gloved hands, and the actual tentacles themselves I was surprised to find pre-attached to Doc Ock. This is literally how he comes straight out the box. They are already plugged into the back of the figure, and they do feel very sturdy as well. Just first impressions, the likeness looks great. This is genuinely better out of the packaging than any of the promo images have suggested. So I'm very intrigued to take a close look at this one. But before we do, let's have a quick word from our friends at Legendsverse. Let me introduce you to legendsverse.com, a place all Marvel Legends collectors are going to want to know about. If you are looking for an easy way to keep track of your collection, what figures you have, and create wish lists, then Legendsverse can do all of this and so much more. It's a comprehensive Marvel Legends database that, once you have added your collection, gives you stats like how many figures you own, how many waves and builder figures you have completed, and how much your collection is worth right now. Organize your collection in teams, upload photos of each figure, look at price guides, and share your collection with friends by showcasing your own profile. Go and sign up and see for yourself. Legendsverse.com. If you collect Marvel Legends, you should absolutely check them out. All the links are in the description. Now back to Doc Ock, starting off at this head sculpt, which has a glorious likeness to the actor Alfred Molina. Honestly, it is really good. Probably better in hand than it's coming across on camera, I assure you. Now the glasses are glued onto the face, but obviously they've got the bronze sort of framing with the slightly tinted lens, so you can still see the eyes behind there. And I don't mind that, as I'd display him with the glasses on anyway, as he's wearing them throughout the whole movie. And also I'd probably end up losing them to the carpet monster if I didn't anyway. But the head sculpt has a really solid sort of rosiness to the cheeks and the sort of sculpted creases. He's clearly still in control by those pesky AI tentacles at this point, because he's got a very grumpy look on him, but you can literally hear the man saying hello Peter. It is really good. The perfect hair sculpt as well, done in that brown, going all the way around, if I show you, and then from certain angles it absolutely is a better likeness as well. Like really good head sculpt, really nice. No complaints with that at all. And even though he's got that turtleneck collar, he still gets full range of the head sculpt. So the head sculpt is on a dumbbell joint, so he can bury the chin underneath that turtleneck. He can look up, you have your tilt, and then you have your swivel as well, of course. And it's clearly cold in New York, as he is wearing 2 jackets. Now, before we look at the tentacles, we'll just look at Doc Ock. So you've got this green overlay jacket that goes all the way down to just above the ankles with those black sculpted buttons on there. And then underneath that, you have another jacket done in the brown, and then there's some sculpted pockets and whatnot. Again, goes all the way down to the same length. So it does give you a nice sort of layering effect. And they both are done in a softer plastic, and they are both cut at the shoulder. So they stop at the shoulder to allow full range of the arm. So the arm will go up to 90, bicep swivel. Unfortunately, single jointed elbows, but they are pinless, and I guess for a stout fella they've chose this is more of an aesthetic approach. So to be honest, I'm not mad at it, because I care more about the articulation in the tentacles. So yeah, single jointed elbows, but they are pinless. Now while we're looking at the waist here, you can see the turtleneck is done in black. and it's got a nice texture to it, but it appears like there's no articulation, right? Well, this sort of frame in here, this metal sort of cage around the waist, is actually done in a softer plastic. Like you can see me moving that around there. You can see me separating them. So this is a softer plastic, and the articulation for the waist, the cut, is actually behind there, very nicely hidden. So you can actually get your swivel there as well, as you can see, and also some crunch forward and back. Now, obviously it's hindered because he's wearing his big jacket, but you can literally see me crunching him forward a little bit. So we will go forward just a little bit. So more articulation than it first seems. You've got that sort of gold zip as well going down to the trousers. Trousers are done in green. This man knows how to coordinate because he's also got the brown shoes on to match the jacket. Double jointed pinless knees, which get all the range you would expect the double pins too. You've got the thigh cut, no boot cut or shin cut or anything like that, but you do get ankle pivot and rocker. So yeah, this man knows how to coordinate. He looks very, very good, and it's a solid likeness. So really, really like it. But let's check out those tentacles. Before we do that, let's check out these pincer attachments before we plug them into the tentacles. You can see he comes with 2 sets, one flat set and one gripping set, but none of this has any articulation, which is a shame. It would have been nice to have that added articulation on the pincers, but they're still going to do the trick, I think. I like these flat ones as these will give him more stability when you plug him in there, and you can see the holes in there so you can plug it in even further. And then these ones have the red sort of paint in there to represent the red light of the AI. And again, really nicely sculpted details. It's done like a gunmetal grey with like a black wash. It looks like there should be articulation, but unfortunately there is none. So you get 2 of them, and then 2 of the flat ones with the hole in. And again, nice sculpted elements, but no articulation at all on any of the pincers. Okay, I'm officially an idiot. I was checking out the promo images and I could see that some of the pincers were closed, and I was thinking, but none of these articulate. I went and checked the box, and then sellotape to the top of the packaging was a 3rd set of pincers. So these are the ones that actually articulate. They have a hinge in, and you can close these up completely just like we see in the movie. So yes, you get an extra set of tentacle pincers, and these ones actually do have the hinges in. So you get 2 that articulate. The tentacles plugged into the back are in these holes in the jackets, and I do like the added sculpted ripped details on the back of the jackets as well. And the tentacles are really nice. It's done in that same gunmetal grey with this really nice texture going all the way along, all the way to the very end, and then there's the plug that you plug in the tentacle pieces. So yeah, these plug in nice and sturdy, and they feel firm as well. Like if I just zoom out a little bit here, let's have a, so these are quite like stiff, like they feel really solid. Like if I move these into a position, I feel like they're going to stay there. So let's start moving these out of the way. So again, I'm bending these for the first time, and they're not soft. They feel like they're flexible, not a problem at all, but you do have to give it a little bit of oomph. So they feel like they're going to be able to hold his weight, which is what I really want him to be able to do. I want him to be able to stand on his tentacles to create that iconic pose. So yeah, these bend out the way, no problem at all. And they're nice and firm, like really, really good. So let's get the tape measure out. So as you can see, from Doc Ock to the end of the tentacles, you're looking at just under 9 inches, over 8 inches for sure. So yeah, these are going to give you a great sort of range of posing. So we can plug these in on the end as well, I'm assuming, no problems. So that should go in there like so. Again, articulation on these would have been the cherry on top. But they still look like solid tentacles. Let's get the rest plugged in. I couldn't wait. I had to see if he would stand and do his iconic pose with these tentacles. And it's a yes with a but. Because yes, he can do it, as you can see. However, you do need a lot of patience and a little bit of skill, which I have neither. You don't see the struggle behind the camera, but it was actually quite fiddly to get him to stand and balance. I don't know if it's my table's too slippy, but the legs just wanted to keep separating. Like the grip of the tentacles wasn't enough. So as you can see, it's a little bit lean back here to help him balance. So I'm sure there are better, more patient people out there than me that will get this to work seamlessly. However, I had a little bit of an issue trying to get him to balance. So you can see here, he will balance on his back. Like I've got him leaning just slightly. But for me, the legs, if I tried to like straighten out the legs and make him seem a little bit taller, maybe you can capture this. The leg started, oh, now he bloody does it. This always happens to me. But you see them moving? They're moving a little bit. They want to sort of just start slipping out, and he starts drooping like that, and then he's eventually going to fall forward. But you can see it works. He will stand on his own weight, but then he falls. So yeah, again, I'm sure there's going to be people out there much better than me, but the flat tentacles, like, they just don't grip as much as I would like to the floor. Like, I feel like I'm going to have to get some tack under these to sort of hide that on the display. But there's no doubts he looks great, like no doubts. But I would rather him leaning forward a little bit, maybe. But yeah, all of these, by the way, are completely bendy. You can move them anywhere. You can change these and put these at the bottom. Actually, let's try that. And do you know what? I actually think it works better when the pincers are the other way round. I know it's not ideal and not how he was intended to be displayed, but he just grips the floor a little bit better. Another reason why we should have got 4 of each pincer piece to really maximize our displaying options. But I'm just having a terrible trying to get him to balance. Maybe you'll have a better experience. There is no doubt aesthetically he looks solid, a great looking Marvel legend. But I'm just having a rough time getting into balance on 2 tentacles. I'm sure 3 or 4 will be easier. And how does he look standing on his own 2 feet with all 4 tentacles sticking outwards? Again, it looks great, but it is a game of balance where you got to be patient, but you can get it to work. So you've got plenty of posing and displaying options. Finally, he comes with a set of fisted hands and of course a set of open palm gripping hands, which are wide enough so he can actually grip the tentacle piece, or maybe he can just pet one as well. So yeah, display him how you wish. I mentioned he could pet his tentacles, and I promise that's not a euphemism, and I keep on forgetting about this extra 3rd set of pincers, the ones that actually have the points of articulation, so you can do it a lot more accurate with the actual point of the pincer. There we have one already in the hand, and then this one here you can close up and have an extra one. So yeah, more displaying options than I initially realized. And the reason I didn't use these in the standing up segment is because I completely forgot. But maybe these will actually help them to stand as well. Maybe they have more grip. Again, you can experiment, but to confirm, you get 3 sets of pincers, 1 with articulation, and the other 2 sets are completely static. First comparison, at least for me, had to be Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because I want to see if Doc Ock can actually hold him up in the air with one of these tentacles. So I do think the scale works here. Let's try holding him. And would you look at that? Yes, he absolutely can hold Spider-Man. The pincers are like wide enough to sort of grip in the torso of Spider-Man there. So you can get him in a nice sort of action pose with Doc Ock with his claw gripped onto Spider-Man. Honestly, I think that looks really good, and Doc Ock balances nicely as well. It's much better with him on his own 2 feet, to be honest, and then you display the tentacles around him than trying to create an awkward display with him on his tentacles. But I'm sure there are people out there that will do a much better job than me. But as you can see, he is holding Spidey there, no problem, and it does look really good. Again, he's leaning back a little bit, but it's all about that balance game. But yeah, I think it looks really good. Very happy to have these 2 in the collection. For those curious, here we have a quick comparison of a couple of likenesses. It is, of course, Peter 1 and Peter 2 and Otto, aka Tom, Alfred and Toby. And it all started with that battle on the bridge where Peter had 4 legs of his own in his Iron Spider costume. And a bit later, he uses his nanotech to create the integrated suit. Here we have all 3 of the Spider-Men in the movie together, including the final swing suit, even though Doc Ock and that suit never shared the screen, in case you wanted to see it. And here we have the 2 Marvel Legend Deluxes from Spider-Man No Way Home, and I'm glad they took the deluxe route with these 2 rather than making shortcuts to give us them as a builder figure, as I don't think we would have got figures as good if they had to make sacrifices to fit it in a builder figure packaging. So I'm glad they went the deluxe route, very happy about it, and I can't wait to complete the team with Electro and Lizard, which I'm sure they have up their sleeve. Of course, we've already got Sandman. I've just not opened him up yet, but I'm sure he will look great with these as well. And yeah, 2 of the best Marvel Legends of the year, 2 of the best MCU Marvel Legends, full stop, period. As I mentioned, I haven't finished opening all the figures from the Spider-Man No Way Home wave yet, but here we have a couple of other characters from the movie with Ned Leeds, Matt Murdock and J. Jonah Jameson. And who would have thought that 2023 would have been a solid year for Dr. Octopus in Marvel Legends form? Both live action and animated have had a very screen accurate representation in plastic. Two solid Marvel Legends offerings here, one very happy collector. And let's wrap up with some of the Who crew. So here we have Frogman, Tigra and Jocasta, who is reading out comments from the last Marvel Legends review. Who have you picked today?
The Forsaken Sentry says, I guess you could say we couldn't avoid this review, eh?
And last but not least, here we have Captain Britain and Hellfire Hank. Final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Doc Ock, aka Dr. Otto Octavius. The packaging says Spider-Man 2, but we all know this is the No Way Home version, and it is a solid representation in plastic of our live action Doc Ock, which I genuinely think the community in general will be happy with. This is a solid Marvel Legend. It is up there with some of the best MCU Marvel Legends we have. It's worthy of the real estate it's going to claim on the display, and I can't wait for the people out there with a lot more patience and skill than me to have this in their display and take some pictures, because it's going to look great. Honestly, I just think underneath my hot lights on a review table, constantly tweaking and changing it, it just gets frustrating. But without that pressure, I do think you're going to enjoy this figure. I didn't want to risk breaking my figure by taking out the tentacles on the back either. Just for the sake of review, I didn't want to break my figure. So if that is possible, let me know in the comments below, but I didn't want to risk it. They are very strong, very sturdy. They don't swivel as much as I would like, which makes me think they are actually glued in on the back. But there is a lot of movement in those bendy wire tentacles. And as I said, you've seen for yourself, it does display very nicely. You just need some patience. So let me know what you think in the comments below of this Doc Ock, because I don't think anyone can challenge that it doesn't aesthetically look good. Remember, it is completely pinless. Yes, they're single elbows, but it still looks good. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like Marvel Legends, and wow, you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Thank you as always to the video sponsor, which is legendsverse.com. Check them out if you collect. Honestly, it's worth it. Links in the description below. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews, maybe on TikTok, maybe, I don't know. And I will, of course, see you on the next one.